What is something that is that achieves true greatness? So in the moment, you can have your fame, how people on social media to have their 15 minutes of fame. Ah, top of the world. Of course, that's also true greatness because you achieved it for your 15 minutes, your glory. You may feel good, but that's not true greatness. So what is true greatness in one's achievements? Now, of course, it can be a small little thing that you do, and you do it because not to have onlookers see and think you're great, but what you did was great. Hmm, right? That's, that's hidden just between you and God Almighty, and you did something remarkable. No one knows about it. That's true greatness. But true greatness in one's achievements is something that continues beyond us, beyond what we have done in that moment or even in our lifetime. So, the Alter Rebbe, true greatness. Why true greatness, the Alter Rebbe? Is because there are more people learning his teachings today than in his lifetime. Even after his lifetime, artists become great after their lifetime. Their paintings are more valuable after their lifetime. But true greatness is that 200 years later, there are people that are learning the teachings and following the path. So an artist, you might have 200 years later, the artwork is much more valuable. It will be sold in an auction for millions of dollars. And maybe it would have been worth only a small amount during their lifetime or after their lifetime, but now it's worth so much more. Yeah, but that's only value that we give to it, not inherent value. What's inherent value? Inherent value is that you learn from the teachings, you absorb the teachings, and you incorporate the teachings into your life. No one is incorporating any of the great artists of the past, their ways, into your life because they're not great. It's just that it's valuable monetarily or in the eyes of people. In the eyes of people, it's got value. So now I am, you know, happy to purchase this at a high price because, you know, I will be looked at in greater value. That's all about me then. It's not about the greatness of the individual. Greatness of the individual is that you, here, folks, the fact that you continue to come day after day, and many of you, this is not your first year, the first time. You're coming. For some of you, it's been a few years already coming to learn Tanya. Why? Because you want the message of our teacher, the Alter Rebbe, to be more and more absorbed and more part of us. Not that just we get it intellectually, and not that just we feel it emotionally, but it changes our behavior, the way we think, the way we talk, and the way we act. That's true greatness. That there's so many more people want that today than ever before. Welcome to Tanya today. I am Rabbi Ronnie Fine coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. as we continue a journey through now Sefer Shel Beinanim. Tomorrow we'll start chapter 1. Today we do the compiler's forward. Now, the Rebbe in his forward writes some very powerful thoughts. He is sending to all those who are his followers, who pursue righteousness, who seek God, and may the Almighty listen to you. In this land and all lands, wherever they are. Achieve peace and eternal life. So it's well known, the saying that hearing words of moral guidance from a teacher, individually and directly, is not the same as seeing and reading it from a book. Imagine being in private audience with the Rebbe, seeking moral guidance. Wow. Rather than reading it in a book. Especially the mental grasp of everybody's not the same. So you read in a book, you might not get it exactly. And not only that, not all books, that can talk to everybody. And even if they're holy books, because they are part of Torah, yet the individual may not find their place in the teachings. How's this talking to me? How do I apply this to my life? As opposed to have a private audience. Here, the Alter Rebbe is speaking about having private audience with him. So, kind of makes sense. Here he's trying to make the argument of why this book. But he starts off saying, well known, the sentiment that to hear from a mentor individually, privately, to gain guidance in your life for your spiritual path, this is far better, far greater than trying to get it from a book, as we just gave some of the difficulties that you find it in a book. That, again, the book may not be something that I can grasp. It may not be something that I will find myself. And maybe the teacher, me being the teacher here, will not teach sufficiently that can help, as opposed to getting it directly back in the day from the Rebbe himself. An argument not to have the book. Right? Because it's so important. We have to know how Torah talks to us. And here the Tanya is specifically to give us the proper guidance. So, continues, he says, I speak, however, to those who know me well, each and every one of Anash in our country and other countries nearby, with whom affectionate words have been exchanged in private audience. So now the Rebbe is saying, I know you well. You've expressed yourself to me. You have connected to me. You've revealed to me the hidden recesses of your heart and your mind in matters that relate to the service of God. So I know you well. And to them my words seep through, and my tongue shall take form of a scribe's pen. In this book called A Compilation of Teachings, Likutei Amarim, compiled from books and teachers, mentioned in the title page, from the Baal Shem Tov, from the Mizitcher Magid, and others. All of them are answers to the many questions posed continually by those seeking advice. Wow. Each according to a person's stature in their divine service, so that you will be able to get the guidance that you need. And why is he doing it in this book further? Right? And he's saying that I know you, and I put this all to now to pen on paper to write all of the answers to the many questions that you can continually have, and what it means to serve the divine. And furthermore, he says, there isn't sufficient time to reply to everybody individually. Wow. And not only that, but we're forgetful. So you may get a response, but then you might forget over time. Therefore, this is what he says, Kol ha'tshuvas al kol ha'shailas. Wow. I have recorded all of the answers to all the questions that there is in divine service, and what it means to lead a life, to lead a good life, a purposeful life, a meaningful life. Wow. All the answers are in this book, he says. And therefore, they need to be preserved as a sign, as a service, a reminder in everyone's mind. No longer will you be able, don't press for private audience. Find your tranquility in this book. Find tranquility for your soul, the true counsel on everything that you find difficult in the service of God. This is where you're going to find tranquility. Whatever question it is about a meaningful life, a life devoted to divine service. Right? How to do better business? Somewhat is answered here too, but it's not about how to be a better businessman. It's better how to be an honest businessman, yes. Because honest businessman is part of service of God. A businessman is not part of service of God. That's just about you making a livelihood. But an honest businessman, a person who trusts in God in business. And what that means, oh, yes, all the answers are here. How to raise my children properly, how to treat people appropriately. All the answers are here. Every single answer to your questions. How to deal with loneliness. How to deal with feeling less than. All the answers are here. Every single answer. Thus, your heart should be firmly secure with God, who completes and perfects every one of us. Now, he says, that if you're not capable to find the answers to your questions here, then you got to discuss it with those who are greater scholars in your town or who you have access to. By the way, that's why we have TRC. We learn over here, absolutely, and some of the answers you can get here very clearly. but we have the Tanya Rabbi community. So that way can take the teachings here and apply it to whatever personally you're going through. And we do that. And of these scholars, now turns the Alter Rebbe and says, I request of you not to keep silent when people come and ask advice for fear of feeling too proud of, your knowledge. That would be false modesty, he says. Right? In other words, if you're more learned, then you need to share guidance and advice with others. And as is well known, the bitter punishment for someone who was what's called menea bar, withholds food, means food for the soul. If you have food for the soul and you could teach someone and help them and guide them, and you hold back by not guiding, there's a punishment for that, for the teacher who holds back and isn't guiding. Oy. And that's from the negative. On the positive side, though, God enlightens the eyes of both of them. In other words, the teacher and the student. When the teacher is giving to the student and helping them, it opens up the eyes of also the teacher, and they gain a great wealth, spiritual wealth. And God then will cause his inner face, inner being to dwell and to bring an inner light of God upon the two of them, teacher and student. The countenance of God who provides life. Wow. May he who provides life to the living grant us the privilege of living to see the days when we no longer will need a teacher, because you will all know me, from the smallest to the greatest, for the knowledge of God will fill the earth as water fills the sea. Amen. May it be as well, which of course is referring to the times of Mashiach. Very powerful. And then he just concludes something that in the approbations that we had learned previously. He concludes that no one should take from this book and print it for 5 years without the consent of the publishers. In order that the books should be should be pervasive throughout all the communities with the right printing. As we mentioned, there were many who were against the Alter Rebbe's teachings, and they wanted to disqualify it by, showing and writing it in a manner that wasn't true to form, in order to remove people from, thinking that this is part of proper Torah teachings. And therefore, that's what led the Alter Rebbe to actually have it printed, because it was like hand copied for a while. But many of those hand copies were, again, copied erroneously and purposefully in order to remove people from the teachings. With that, we finished the compiler's forward. Very powerful. All the answers to all questions and how to lead a good life, a proper life, is in this book. And together, we will look and see if there are any questions. Powerful. And powerful is that We all have a capability of truly growing. I look forward for the year ahead of Tanya, that we can truly grow together. Okay, I don't see any questions. Um, so it kind of speaks for itself. Tonight, we're going to have a Hanukkah symposium for the holiday coming up from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till 8:30 p.m. TRC will be at 8:30 rather than the usual 8. Um, it will be on YouTube and on Facebook. So Tanya Rabbi on YouTube and The Tanya Rabbi on Facebook, and Chabad ZK too. Um, we will have so you can come and join. Okay, amazing. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kedoshim in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you. Tanya Rambam is coming up now. Again, tonight, 6 o'clock. Join us. I'm going to put it up on Messenger, whoever's in the Messenger group. If you're not one of the groups, let me know or private message me. And look forward to seeing you then.